win. You're in the bro army. You're in the bro army. For life.
Glorious.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's me, Mikey Bro here. Welcome to TEW2020 NXT The Game Season 1 Episode 3. This is NXT Wrestling. We're going to get going here. We're rocking and rolling on public beta number 15. We're going to see if any of the changes as regards to the scrolling has worked, if Adam's got that fixed. But until then, we're going to keep playing as we plan. We're going to start off the show in an extremely short match in front of 649 people at center stage, where Adam Cole, the NXT World Heavyweight Champion, defeats Ho-Ho Loon in 4:45 with his flying crossbody. The announcing quality lifted the match, which is great. The Undisputed Era storyline has advanced, and a 39 for Loon and a 57 for Cole. So not bad. Alright, next up, as the bell sounds, Adam Cole, having defeated Ho-Ho Loon, quickly is handed back his NXT Championship and begins screaming into the camera recording him. Adam Cole goes on to say that he and the Undisputed Era are just getting started in 2020. So as you see, we're trying to do our segments a little different in terms of how we're laying it out, in terms of how we're typing it out. We'll see if it works here in 2020 with all the updated changes through the beta. It still does not look like it's letting me scroll. That's fine. All right, that's a 30 overall. The next segment, and about that didn't have much heat and had terrible wrestling. Shotzi Blackheart defeated Santana Garrett in 8:52 with a Fright Night, a 27 overall rating, not great. Santana Garrett and Blackheart did have pretty good chemistry, which did help the match, but the crowd didn't seem very happy to see Santana Garrett. A 25 and 26 for Garrett and Blackheart, respectively, a 27 overall in the segment. Alright, next up, a video airs hyping what happened with Jordan Devlin interfering right when the Velveteen Dream was set to beat Finn Balor in last week's main event. The graphic then airs showing that next week Balor and Devlin will be here, possibly, to explain themselves. So me and Cohen were talking. We kind of like the idea of Balor and Devlin kind of getting back together in NXT, actually getting together in NXT. They've never gotten together before on WWE television, aside from their match in, I believe it was Blackpool, the first NXT UK TakeOver event. So we're going to pair the NXT Cruiserweight Champion Jordan Devlin with Finn Balor out the gate. He looked good, though, a 54 overall, so cannot complain. All right, next up, and about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but terrible wrestling. Dominik Dijakovic defeats Kona Reeves in 13 minutes with a dijection. The vocal crowd didn't like seeing Dominik or Kona Reeves. The announcing quality lifted the match. A 35 and 27 for Reeves and Dominik Dijakovic, respectively here. And we're going to keep on with Dominik Dijakovic. We like him, and he's a pretty big guy. He's a pretty strong guy. He's a guy who we can build around, I believe, going forward. He's a guy that I don't think is in danger necessarily of being taken by WWE, so we're going to do our best to go ahead and take advantage of that. But a 37, it could have been worse. So as the match ended, Dominik Dijakovic would go on to celebrate. However, the interesting note here is that the camera stayed with Kona Reeves a little longer than we would normally anticipate. Reeves looked extremely frustrated and was mouthing "no more of this" to the fans as the ringside ended the segment. 33 overall here, the quality lifted the boost. So Kona Reeves, I'm a fan. He's very fun to watch, and we're going to keep an eye on Kona Reeves because I think going forward he's going to be someone, if you will, we can feature a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to get the NXT Championship, but he's someone we can look into. This is our first or second show here in NXT, so we're really using this event as a housekeeping issue to try to set up because, and I believe it's 5 or 6 weeks we'll be heading to NXT TakeOver, and next week I will be revealing the name for that TakeOver. So, alright, next up we see Candice LeRae defeating Vanessa Bourne in 8:24 with her heartbreak finish. Vanessa Bourne got a lot of static from the vocal crowd who weren't impressed. Candice put up a 47 to Bourne's 23, so the announcing quality is continuing thanks to Mauro Ranallo to lift our events, which is great. 40 overall here. Not much to go on. Candice celebrating after her victory tonight. A 20 overall for Candice. We wanted to see what was going to happen. Ryan Katz, he's not doing great. We're losing Michaels. We're losing William Regal. No, not William Regal. I'm William Regal. That's our avatar. So we're losing Michaels and a couple other guys. Norman Smiley going up to the main roster. And they don't need him. So it kind of sucks. But, yeah. So we're losing We're definitely losing a couple people, a couple road agents. We're going to have to scour the intrawebs for them. All right, 20 overall for Candice. Next up, we get a video recap of last week's Lucha House Party Tag Team Action victory. The renewed push of the Lucha House Party here has began. So again, the Lucha House Party will be something in NXT. I think they're three fantastic workers with Kalisto, Gran Metalik, and Lince Dorado. As you can see, Lince Dorado was enjoying the freedom, as was Gran Metalik. This angle got the crowd interested again, which was great. It led to the segment, and It's a Lucha House Party segment has advanced. 40 overall, not bad at all. All right, next up, we see the grizzled young veterans James Drake and Zach Gibson defeat Everrides, Scott Parker, and Matt Martell when Matt Martell was pinned with a frog splash. The crowd didn't like seeing Matt Martell, which is unfortunate because Everrides is going to be used as one of our gatekeeping tag teams out the gate. But Gibson and Drake put up a 39 and a 41 respectively. Martell and Parker with a 30 and 33, a 40 overall for the grizzly young veterans, James Drake and Zach Gibson. After the match, Gibson has called for a microphone, and the grizzly young veterans have defeated Everrise. Gibson simply says that he and Drake are grizzled young veterans, and that the NXT Tag Team division is officially being put on notice. Gibson and Drake would go on to leave the ring, but their point has been made. The grizzly young veterans are across the pond and are staying in NXT. Alright, so Gibson did great improvising. James Drake didn't do well without a script. Borash could have done better. Well, Borash is another one that's leaving, so whatever. The announcing quality, the segment, 32 overall though, so not going to complain here. Gibson and Drake in this very difficult Flesh January 2020 mod are doing pretty well. Alright, next up, and next week on NXT, we have quite a few big matches. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch will take on the Broserweights, the NXT Tag Team Champion Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne in a non-title match. Io Shirai will be in action, as will Dakota Kai, plus a huge main event as Johnny Gargano, Johnny Wrestling, takes on Killian Dane. Riddle looked great. Pete Dunne looked good. They're going to be fun to play with a 40 overall here. A couple big matches next week. All right, Charlotte now would come out to the ring next, Charlotte would come out to the ring next, grab a microphone, and discuss her second reign as NXT Women's Champion. Charlotte would go on to say that nobody's on my level, and quite frankly, she might just be right. With all the women fighting for his position to be the number one contender, Charlotte sits perched atop the NXT Queen's throne yet again. Who, if anyone, can lay claim to her championship? She's gone until NXT figures it out. So she's on loan. This was her third of 10 appearances. So Charlotte will be on NXT. She is our NXT Women's Champion. Kind of think of her a Brock Lesnar as of right now in terms of how we're going to be using her, because we only have so many limited dates. Excuse me, it's very late here. It's 10:30 here, SoCal, West Coast, California time, so I'm a little tired. 48 overall, though. Charlotte Flair doing some great work. The Queen of NXT has advanced with the segment. And in our main event, Tommaso Ciampa defeats Damian Priest with Project Ciampa. The crowd didn't seem particularly thrilled with seeing Damian Priest. Ciampa seemed off his game. Sarah Stock could have done better. Morrow lifted the match and Priest was tired. This match was poorly placed. This was booked as a wild brawl, but the crowd wasn't buzzing who was ready for action, which is unfortunate. I thought Charlotte would have got him hyped up. Apparently not quite hyped up enough for what we were trying to do here with this segment. So that's what we got overall. 43. All right, we had a 36 last show. Not bad. The show's lost its popularity in 3 regions. Kona Reeves was not on the show very long, but, he was used too much apparently in those 8 minutes of action. So we're going to end it here. This was NXT The Game, Season 1, Episode 3 in TEW2020. I'm, as always, Mikey Bro. Thanks for watching, everyone. And as Cone would say, if he was awake, have a glorious rest of your day.